believe this to be day 5. Yesterday was sort of a day off, did some stretches, kind of got myself a little bit more well sorted. Hi buddy, what's up? As soon as I start talking, he thinks I'm talking to him, and he just comes running. So anyway, yesterday was a bit of an off day, stemming from what I think was perhaps a little bit of overtraining on the first day that I started. And now, the next step is to get back into it. And today, I'm actually scheduled for legs. So what I'm going to probably end up doing is starting with that. And I'm going to go a little bit lighter on the weights this time because I actually did end up, if you remember, seizing up my back the last time I tried straight leg deads with the weights that I had intended to use. And I did use. So, gonna get started. I don't know how much talking there's going to be this time. I've got a podcast in my ears, a little bit of motivational speaking and a little bit of music. So I might give you an update as I go along, but I think it's going to be pretty sparse for commentary this time. I wore a tight shirt so we can all see my belly. Wow. Oh, let's get our kitty thumbnail as well. Come here. Come here. Up. There we go. What's that? Oh, shit. Oh, no. All right, let's see how long I can hold this plank for. God damn it. I didn't mean to be a catch for you today. Could you maybe vacate? Oh, you can shift your weight so it hurts even more. You're gonna work on my abs. All right. There we go. Thank you. Oh, good boy. Thank you. All right, first thing up this morning is straight leg deads. Last time I attempted 45 and ended up seizing up my back, so I'm just gonna go with 25s this time, one each side, which is fundamentally like a toddler weight, I think, but it's gonna have to do because I still need to move around for the rest of the weekend. And we'll get started. Okay. All right. Why does this hurt my legs so much? Am I really using my legs when I do this? Maybe. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. Very good. Going to give ourselves 30 seconds. Then we're going to start round 2. Okay, round 2. So I gave up ice cream last week, which was kind of an accomplishment. No more ice cream. Today, moment of weakness, I went and bought some. Working against my own best interest there. It's sort of interesting. Self-sabotage is like a common theme in my life. Luckily, it's not totally suicidal. Usually it's just small things like ice cream or a bit of extra spending. Maybe potentially being rash in traffic. Things like that. Haven't been punched in the face yet, so that's good. All right. Round 3. I made it to 40 without being punched in the face. Maybe that's just because I'm tall. I don't know. 5. Oh, I think my last ex probably wanted to hit me in the face a couple times, but you ain't gotta go there. Okay, 30 more seconds in round 4. There we go. Just had to turn Siri off. She kept on thinking I was trying to talk to her. The last thing I want to do is talk to Siri. 2. 3. Control the negative. 4. 5. Hi, buddy. 6. 7. Now I'm not going to throw that ice cream away. What I might do is just save it for maybe a Sunday, like one day a week, kind of a treat thing that ties into getting everything else done that I need to get done. It just can't be a daily thing, because that would be bad. Hi, buddy. You want to go outside? All right, it's going to be loud. Why don't you go? Okay, last set that I think what we're going to be on to next is dumbbell shrugs. Working on these shoulder Enos here. Okay. Look at this. This is why I shouldn't be having ice cream. I mean, I'm doing better than some 40-year-olds, but far worse than others. Almost makes me wonder if I should just dive into a life of hedonism for the next 20 years and cap it off at 65. Just let gravity take me. Fuck everything, do everything raw, and then just bail out. Click, click, boom. Oh, I don't think that's my fate, or it shouldn't be anyway. Alright. Shruggies next, because I ain't got no huggies. I think we're going to go with 50 this time around. So I think last time around I did 60s? I can't remember. But memory makes me want to think it was potentially more than I can handle. Careful. Don't go jumping off the balcony. Okay. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, let's do some shruggies. I love these, I really do. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can feel it. Feels good. Also, I want to kind of point out, I'm pretty sure these are not the ideal weights for me in any category, whether they might be too low or too high for all of these. I just want to get into the routine of working out first. And in a week or two, I might do a recalibration with all the correct 1 rep maxes, doing the math and so on and so forth. But for now, I just got to show up every day. I think I do that, I'll be in good shape. Rudolph, what are you eating? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Working on the 3rd set. These feel good. Getting a little bit of a sweat going just from those. Look at this. No likey. Okay, 3rd set coming up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another 30 seconds and we'll jump in with the 4th set. I'm trying to have defined times between sets because I think the inclination is to just kind of take as long as necessary, and that really stretches these workouts out. And I don't have all the time in the world. That's a lie, yes I do, but I just don't want to spend it all messing with this. So anyway, another 10 seconds, we're going to get into our 4th set and then jump to 5th. And then we'll see what the next exercise is. The river is melting. I got a river that I can see from my balcony, and it's starting to melt, which means spring's really finally on the way. 4th set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come the actual spring, it's going to be nice. I've got some cool cars I want to start driving again. I promise to God I won't waste this season. I'm going to be totally active. I'm going to drive as much as I can, see as much as I can, spend as little amount of time as possible at home as I can, so on and so forth. I think that's going to be for the best. One thing that I'll tell you when you're born is time is finite. You have to figure that out for yourself. Hopefully you don't figure it out too late. Okay, 5th set. Why am I drooling? It must be the ice cream. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, good. All right, so it looks like calf raises are next, another one of my favorite exercises. So we'll get those guys done. Get shake a brief moment, get some water. I'm not going to make you sit around for that. I will come back when we're ready to start calves in a bit. All right, calf raises, we're doing 50 aside. This means I'll be calf raising 100 pounds, which is roughly, let's see, I'm about 170, so 33%, 40%, 33% of my weight, something like that. I don't know, I can't math, that's why I'm a blue collar guy. All right, let us begin. Good. 1, 2, 3. I'm really trying to find the height on this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, that's a pretty good engagement right there. Okay, 30 seconds. We're going to start on round 2. I always find balance to be a bit of an issue with doing those, and I'm not sure if the solution is just do one side at a time or to back myself up to something. I'm going to try and back up on the bench and see if I can control my ascension and descension that way. Just by using friction with the bench is kind of almost a Hall effect. See where my legs are. Okay, let's go. Oh yeah, that's actually much better. 1. I feel more balanced when I've got something to fall back on. Oh, there's some philosophy there. That's why married men live longer. 4. Having something to fall back on when times are tight. 7. Not that I've ever been married. Haven't really had a relationship. At this point in my life, I doubt I will. 30 seconds, round 3. Hi, buddy. What's up? How you doing? That's my favorite glass. Smell like meatloaf. Okay. Meow. Brother. 1, 2. Oh yeah, I'm definitely doing it like this going forward. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It feels so much better. Yeah, okay. 30 seconds and on to round 4, getting a good burn on those. Rudolph, you just went outside. Can't have you going out again. Because. All right. Okay. Fourth set coming up. 1. This is how you get dad calves without being a dad. 2, 3. Wonder if these are going to seize up like my chest did last week. 4, 5. So you can see that belly. 6, 7. 15.4% body fat, by the way. 8. Yeah, that's far too much for me. It's pretty close to the highest I've ever been. I think the highest I've ever been is about 17. I felt like a whale. Ideally, I'd like to be back down to somewhere around 9 or 10. I got like a femboy figure, for better or worse. All right. Next, we're going to be doing squats. I'm going to do another set of these just to kind of shake things up a bit, just to bounce the rubble. And then body weight squats again, because I think that's probably where I'm at. My ass was actually sore for a few days after, so body weight will do. Okay. I also walk between 10 and 20 kilometers a day. So I'm really not too concerned about my leg health. This is all aesthetic. 2, 3. If you're at all interested, you're looking at me through a Sony FX3 and a 24-105G, which I think is really the content creator's dream combo. The FX3 is a wonderful camera. It does 4K with a little bit of overlap for image stabilization. It's got great low light performance, so you don't have to worry about the f4 on that 24-105. And the 24-105 gives you a tremendous amount of versatility in a one lens solution without going to a 24-70 and a 70-200, which I used to do, but I gotta switch lenses now. All right, next we're gonna be doing squats. Gonna take a little break. Okay, squats time. The worst part about these is really the anticipation of doing them. I've always hated leg exercises which impact these or this. And as it turns out, oh, well, these guys too. And now I've got a flat ass, poor leg definition. So I am paying for not doing this shit when I was younger. All right, let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bit of a sweat there. All right, can give it 30 seconds and we'll be back on the horn. Cat's gone to lay down. He's bored already. All right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Weak knees also helps. 6, 7, 8. All right, 30 seconds, we'll be back into it, maybe a little bit longer. So in my high school and junior high years, I did a lot of snowshoeing and a lot of sort of running and jogging and stuff, and I don't think I took good care of my knees. They're not as bad as some people's, but they're not the best. Starting to get short of breath, means it's working, so that's good. I don't think squats are supposed to be aerobic, but they are now. Okay. 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure what to do with my arms, man. So 5. I don't think it matters. 6, 7, 8. All right, that's the third set. 2 more. Can't hide that. All right, let's go. 1. You know, maybe in a couple weeks I can actually do weights with this. That would be cool. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was really hard. Okay, gonna give it a minute and then come back to the last set. Heart rate is 106, 115 rather, sorry. Also, I'm trying Apple out again for some reason. Typically I'm an Android guy, but I find that the health tracking on Apple is second to none, with good integration. That's the caveat. Plus, if I keel over, it'll call the cops, so that's cool. Alright, one more of those, then we'll take a break. Coming up on 30 minutes, active, and we've done a good amount of exercises. And we're going to do a good amount more before I'm done. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, good. I'll be coming back shortly from another break. Okay, so hip thrusts is next. We're gonna have fun with these, I think. Again, we're gonna be doing body weight, just because, well, I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe, how should I do this? I'm gonna anchor myself. Be right back. Let's see here. Okay, I think that'll do. Just carve ourselves out a corner here. Oh, imagine if I'm starting this at like 65. It'd be worse. Imagine if I had done it since I was 20. Things would have been a lot better. 2, 3. Alas, I didn't. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, another 30 seconds. We're going to get it going. This is actually a really good workout. I know it sounds kind of funny and goofy as you look at it, but from my perspective, it's good. Okay, what else are we going to do? Wait another 30 and then we're going to get back on the third set. Seriously sweating, just from that. Okay, let's keep going. I said I was going to talk a lot, but here I am talking a lot. All right. I've been thinking about calling my ex. which is a very dangerous thing to do. And I don't know if I want them or if I just want comfort and warmth. It's very dangerous to put too much weight on the old blades. Might get cut. I didn't even know if they'd have me back. I mean, I did break up with them. Anyway. 30 seconds. Last run. Okay. And then, what else we got left? Six. Oh, cool. So we get to do bent rows and upright rows, which I didn't do the last time because my lower back locked up. Okay. Thinking about my ex during hip thrusts, there's got to be something there, man. I just gotta jerk off more. 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that takes care of that. You know what's funny is sometimes you know you're not right for somebody, but you're comfortable being with them nonetheless. And I think it's habituation that keeps a lot of relationships together that probably shouldn't be together. You just kind of get into a groove over time. It's kind of like this. If you roll a big ball or a tire down a hill using the same path for a year or 2 or 3, it's going to wear the grass down, it's going to wear a groove into the side of the hill. And it'll be hard to get out of that groove, much in the same way I think relationships that sort of tread the same path over and over again eventually wear a groove in the soul. For better or worse, it's not always a negative, but yeah. Okay, bent row time. I take a little break, get some water, I'll be back for the last 2. Coming up on bent rows. You know, I think there's something interesting. This is the theme of this week, is going back to things that you've left, for better or worse, and compulsions and finding habits. Ice cream, exes, even working out. Some things good, some things bad that you or I may wander away from over time and then return to. Either as an emotional crutch or a response to trauma or as some sort of coping mechanism some of the time. And I think when it comes to coping, I want to stay of the mind that some coping mechanisms are positive. Like a positive coping mechanism for my tummy is to work out more. You know? So not all coping mechanisms are negative, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So whenever anybody says, oh, you're coping, sometimes coping is good and it can be done in a positive and beneficial way. Negative coping about the belly would just be getting depressed and shooting myself in the head. YouTube's going to censor that one. All right, let's get started. So we got 5 rounds of these bent rows. Let's see how we do. And this is the form that I saw on YouTube, and I think it's correct. I was set up for 50s, so I must have done very well with these in the past. 2, arch my back like a cat girl. Don't know if I can do that. 5, 6, 7. First time in my life I get to say, I don't bend like that anymore. All right, 30 seconds and we'll be back on the next round. I guess, what if your old coping mechanisms don't work the same way anymore? It just auto-focused on my junk, I apologize. But you know, think about it this way. What if, for the first 20 or 30 years of your life, you drink really heavily to cope with something, and eventually that starts to take its toll? Then you have to find other coping mechanisms as you age. because you just can't keep up with what you used to do. I don't drink, really, so I don't have to worry about that. That was just kind of an example. But, ooh, really feeling these right in here. Yeah, when you're backed into a corner and none of your coping mechanisms work, that's usually when you start changing course. So, like I said, eventually you got to give up and cast your habits aside. It's almost like, let's say, reckless spending. You can recklessly spend as long as you got money and as long as you got time on your credit card. But as soon as you're out, what are you going to do? You got to find different ways to cope. And the problem with something like spending is that once you're in that deep, you need like a second order of cope to deal with the huge credit card bill and lack of access to any more credit. That must be a fucking killer. All right. And then it adds to stress, and then it just kind of inverts or folds in on itself. 2, 3, 4. Fucking working out in slacks. Jesus Christ, what was I thinking? 6. Slacks, black socks, and sandals. 7, 8. All right, that's good. 30 seconds. Back for round 3. Okay. Self-conscious about my belly. Okay, round 3. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Very good. Make sure you stay hydrated. Okay. So we've been at it for 42 minutes. And I think we're going to be done ahead of schedule today, which is great. My upper body's not really hurting anymore. It finally kicked over to feeling good last night. So I think it took almost a sum total of 5 or 6 days in order to make the difference, which is a huge turnaround time that I wasn't expecting. Hopefully that'll shorten up as I kind of get back into this, because I certainly can't go a week with only doing 1 set of chest exercises. That's not nominal at all. All right, one more. Okay, I think we're going to do, I'm not sure if that was 4 or 5 sets, but I'm feeling pretty good, so we're going to call it there. And then I got upright rows to do, and I think we're going to call it a night. All right, so we're going to do our upright rows. I'm going to knock the weight down a little bit just because the form as I see it is not going to work very well. I'll try it for 25. Yeah, I'm losing the form on 25. So we're going to do the bitch move, go down to 50. I say bitch move, but I don't think it's really that. It's just what I have to deal with. That really seems to be the mind work for this evening, is just dealing. I think these workout sessions and talking to a camera have been quite beneficial to me, because I don't really believe in therapy in a traditional sense. I don't believe sitting in a dark room talking quietly to somebody who I'm paying. Talking to a camera and whoever might be on the other end is totally different. But yeah, the subject at hand. I turned 40 this year, obviously, or last year. I'll turn 41 this year. And I've been really thinking a lot about mortality and what time means when you know you only have so much of it left. And that's a really interesting, introspective discussion to have with oneself. Because I know the timer's running, and I feel it. I feel it running in ways that I did not when I was 20, when I was 10, when I was 30, when I was 35. It's interesting. I guess, funnily enough, like, I'm in a good place now where I wasn't when I was 35 or 30. I'm no longer in survival mode. So I get the luxury or curse of being able to think about things that are bigger than my immediate circumstances. One of those is the slow ticking of the clock. At this point, start thinking about legacy. Anyway, upright rows, let's go. We're doing 15, so let's go. 1, oh, feel it in the chest. 2, 3. I have to call these out. 4, 5. Why do my wrists hurt? Jesus. 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's good. One of the big things about getting old is also planning on figuring out what you're going to do when you can no longer work and no longer earn a wage that might sustain the level of lifestyle that you have now. So I rent right now. If I were to buy a place on a 25-year mortgage, I would have it paid off by the time I'm 65, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I have a mortgage paid off by the time I'm 65, that gives me maybe 10 years of paying just condo fees or just property taxes to deal with before I keel over. If I live to be 75, which is another 35 years. Oh my God. Oh, it freaks me out, man. I got 35 years left. That is not a lot of time. Had I thought about this 20 years ago, I could have had 55 left. Fuck. All right. Third set. I think I might go solos this time just to see if, or alternating to see if the form is better. 1. It is. I can bring it up to my chin. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. See what I did there? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what kills me is that there is nothing I can do to slow down the passage of time. All I can do is beg, borrow, and steal a little bit more life force to stay alive and conscious for a few more years, a few more months, a few more days, a few more hours. Whether that be by having a healthy lifestyle, or trying to sort my finances, or working out, or doing any of that. You cannot graft more time on, but you can preserve the time that you have, I guess. Or not. Maybe you can graft more time on. Certainly seems to work for the elites. Maybe I just need to get some baby hypothalamuses and chew on those or something. All right, that's enough of that. 4 set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So my message to you, 18, 20-year-old, whoever's watching this, if anybody ever does, get on my level now, you'll have an extra 20 years to figure out the rest of your life. That's advice you're going to ignore, because nobody who's 20 has listened yet. Boy, oh boy. Anyway, spring is coming. Let's get our head out of the heavy topics and finish this workout great. So we're just crossing 50 minutes, at least on the clock. Obviously there's been a few breaks in there. And I'm really happy I did a workout today. I actually feel 10 times better than when I started. I'm not sore. I'm a little sweaty. Obviously not super athlete sweating, but just comfortably worn out. As in, I've done some physical labor today. I've been on the hamster wheel for a little bit, the cat wheel. I've done something to express a little bit of vitality, and that feels good. Can't complain about that. All right, that'll be that. So what are we going to do tomorrow? Could be a day off. I'm going to check. What I think I'm going to have to do until I get my recovery times down, what I'm going to have to do is modify my schedule such that I don't have any repeats during the week, if I can help it. But ultimately what I could do tomorrow is a repeat of what we did today. Although I don't really feel good about doing the same exercise twice, 2 days in a row. So what I might choose to do is do arms tomorrow, because the next scheduled arm workout is going to be Tuesday. And these guys will obviously recover faster than these or this. So I think that's what I'll end up doing. I'll do a set of arms tomorrow, and what I might do is go low weight and high reps, which seems like a nice weekend break. Do low weight, like 25 reps per set, and have a good time with that. All right, thanks a lot for coming by. I've got one subscriber that isn't me, so thank you, whoever you are. And yeah, we'll pick this up tomorrow. Adios. Try not to think about your own impending mortality too much.